Throughout our lives, we're told all these crazy things about our Judaism. All the stories, all the laws, all the traditions, and all the values. For most of our younger years, these are just statements, words that may resonate with us, but provide no direct connection. Israel is where it all comes together. Every story represented by something physical, every law written into society, and every value exemplified by our very people that call it home. Israel isn't just a country, it's a beating heart. It's the place where Jewish identity is tangible, not just theoretical. From the streets of Jerusalem to the open markets of Tel Aviv, Israel reminds us that the stories we've heard and the values we've carried from generation to generation aren't abstract. They're alive, and after October 7th, when the unimaginable happened, we saw this in action. For the first time in years, Jews around the world came together in a way that felt primal and instinctive. We were no longer individuals scattered across continents. We became one people, united by our pain, our resilience, and our unwavering determination to endure. October 7th felt different from other Jewish tragedies that had befallen Israel and the Jewish people before most of my life. On October 7th, we saw the unimaginable cruelty that humans can inflict on each other. We saw the sadistic joy that the perpetrators felt when inflicting such cruelty. But none of that is new to us. The Holocaust remains the darkest chapter in our collective history, a time when 6 million of us were slaughtered, and when our culture, our traditions, and our very existence was threatened. Yes, the mantra of never again was challenged, but I believe that there is even more to it than that. The state of Israel is only an example of an indigenous people returning to their land after 2,000 years. Our people had experienced slaughter and oppression for 2,000 years. Yes, there were examples of resistance, and there's these acts of heroism that we keep hearing about. But those were isolated blips in an ocean of suffering. And the idea was that this defenseless people who had never fought as a coherent national fighting force would create an army that would stand on the borders of the country and protect the Jewish people from harm. I would argue that on October 7th, this was called into question. Was it actually correct that the Jewish army could fulfill its mission? In fact, many people in Israel have said that the outcome could have been far, far worse. Jewish collective memory is what caused us to have this feeling. It's what connects us to the past and pushes us towards the future. So I would sit together at the Passover Seder and recount the Exodus as if we were there. It's why we say never again, not as a plea, but as a promise. And it's why, when the world gets cold, we as Jews have the unique ability to find warmth in our communities. We hold on to each other, and in doing so, we preserve the stories that shaped us. I would also argue that we've spent the year and a half since October 7th overcoming our collective memory. In Israel, this is referred to as reestablishing deterrence. But I would say that it is also reestablishing our belief in the vision of Israel as a place where Jews protect themselves from attack. There's a saying that I really like. It's in the darkest nights, you find the brightest stars. And we, as a Jewish people, I think we're a constellation. A million lights bound together by shared memory, shared values, and a shared purpose. If we want that light to continue to shine, we must carry the stories forward. The stories of Israel, of resilience, and of survival. And of the people who found hope even in the face of despair. And in the wake of October 7th, for the first time in decades, we did exactly that. It's just as we say every year at the Passover Seder. In every generation, they rise up again to destroy us. But the Holy One, blessed is He, saves us from their hands. But it's not enough to just remember. Memory without action is a story left unfinished. We must take that fire and do something with it. We must educate, advocate, and stand up. For ourselves and for each other. We must support Israel not just in times of crisis, but times of peace. We must show up, not just when the world reminds us of our struggles, but when we have the power to define our own futures. Because if history has shown us anything, it's that when Jews stand together, we are a powerful force, one that is unstoppable. We do not let tragedy define us, we let it strengthen our resolve. The last year and a half has shown exactly that, as our enemies have one by one been weakened to the point of no longer being a real threat. And as long as we remember who we are and what we stand for, no force in this world can extinguish our light. So let's take in just this moment, not just as a reflection. Let's carry forward our stories, our traditions, and our unbreakable spirit, because we are still here, we're still standing, and we always will be. The book of the Jews is not yet finished. It's our job to write the next chapter, and it's not even close. Thank you, guys.